When interest rates decline, inflation follows and truth triumphs. I believe that what we observed in the aftermath of COVID will happen again over the course of the following 5 to 10 years, not just for a year. We are currently experiencing a time unlike any other in history, so allow me to quickly review the timeline for innovation to set the stage. This chronology of invention was put together by our chief futurist, Brett Winton, after consulting with academics and conducting scholarly research. You'll notice that there has only ever been one other occasion in history where we have witnessed the simultaneous evolution of 3 significant innovation platforms. These innovations have been genuine disruptive innovations throughout history. Early in the 20th century, there was a pandemic then, the Spanish flu, and there was a war then, World War I, though those problems were much worse than our problems today. So what happened? The telephone, electricity, and automobile revolutions changed the world. And believe it or not, we are in a period now that is somewhat similar to that time. As a result of the explosion of innovation, we saw an extremely difficult period, with inflation reaching a height of 24 in June 1920 and falling to -15 in June 1920 within a year. We ended up in the roaring 20s, which were a prosperous period for the stock market at the time. Due to declining inflation and interest rates, it was a favorable moment for investments of many kinds. We currently have 5 innovations. The seeds for all of them were sown during the 20 years that culminated in the tech and telecom bubble. Platforms evolving at the same time is something that has never before occurred in history. Many investors learned about exponential growth for the first time during the tech and telecom bubble, and they got into the idea. But at the time, the technologies weren't available, or if they were, the expenses were much too exorbitant. The cloud and the major advances in artificial intelligence with deep learning didn't arrive until 2006 and 2012 respectively. In the case of DNA sequencing, it cost $2.7 billion and 13 years of processing power to sequence one person's genome in 2003, when the first complete human genome was completed. Even if prices had fallen by 75% the following year, it would still have been too expensive. The number of genomes per person has decreased from 2.7 billion to 500 now. And with a few hours of processing power, there are now 2. Companies like Illumina and Ultima claim that the price will increase to $100 or $200 in the upcoming year. As a result, we think we are prepared for prime time now that the technologies are established and the prices are reasonable. So what do these 5 platforms consist of? Because DNA sequencing includes not only DNA but also RNA, we now refer to it as multi-omics sequencing. DNA sequencing is extremely complex but extremely interesting. With the use of these discoveries, we will be able to cure sickness. In fact, we have already made one significant discovery within the past week, which I'll discuss when we discuss genomic slide robotics. Costs for industrial robots are rapidly falling, yet there is a manpower shortage. Problems can be solved through innovation, as seen by the surge in demand for robotics, energy storage. I mentioned it while discussing the Ukraine crisis and changes in consumer preferences. As a result of the tragedy, rising oil prices, and the fact that these automobiles are just better and more environmentally friendly, the focus has shifted to innovation. The advances in artificial intelligence that have been made recently, I must admit, are astounding even to us.
Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions about investing. Let's return to the video.
Now that we are attempting to look as far into the future as possible, we are witnessing advances that we had anticipated happening in 5 or 10 years occurring within the last 6 months to a year. I'm not sure if any of you have heard about ChatGPT, but it's a new flavor of GPT-3 that was just published. Essentially, you may say prompt it, then ask them to prepare an essay on disruptive innovation in the style of Cathie Wood. We performed this exercise during a brainstorming session, and we had a pretty good solution in less than 3 seconds. Since we shared all of our research with the group and the GPT-3 chat had a lot to discuss, we believe that AI will have a much greater impact than we had anticipated even a year ago when we had only focused on disruptive innovation. And finally, blockchain technology. In 2020, we conducted research to determine how effective these 5 innovation platforms would be. From the results, it was determined that we were on the verge of a breakthrough. Approximately $14 trillion, or less than 10% of the total global public equity market, was the price of a truly disruptive innovation in the public equity markets at the time. What has changed on the bottom end of 2030 from 14 trillion last year to 7 trillion now? Nothing. In fact, those circles are wider now than we anticipated, and artificial intelligence is a major factor in that. As a result, you can see the expected growth rates. These are compound annual growth rates in the middle there. They have increased instead of the first one, which consists solely of innovation. That 3% may be overly optimistic, given our prediction of slow growth and significant disruption to the established order of things. But we are more confident about the other growth rates because while the top circles have shrunk as a result of declining markets, the bottom circles have actually expanded, creating more opportunities. The convergence of several technologies is one of the factors we believe is contributing to the great growth rates being bigger. Consequently, simply to offer you a few examples, we have exponential growth that has multiplied because these S-curves are feeding more S-curves. Proof of concept for autonomous taxi platforms is already available. I just had a ride in one of GM's autonomous cruise automation vehicles in San Francisco, and it was incredible. Platforms for autonomous taxis combine 3 of our main platforms: robots, robotic energy storing, and electric cars are autonomous vehicles. Total cost of ownership is currently less than that of gas-powered cars. And since artificial intelligence will be used to power these cars in the future, we believe that this will lead to tremendous business prospects. Another illustration in the healthcare industry involves multi-omic sequencing, which combines artificial intelligence and a technique made feasible by DNA sequencing, such as CRISPR or gene editing. These 3 platforms will not only lead to enormous growth prospects, but also to the treatment of disease.
Hope you have learned something from this video. What are your thoughts? Comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click the like button and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell for you to be updated on our latest videos. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Want to learn more and be more financially literate? Click on the next videos we have in our channel, showing on the screen right now.